Alright, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the most busted method to both max the lunar event track and grind it as fast as possible, but it'll also help you make some money on the way. Now, obviously with the preparation, that's why I'm loading into the game right now instead of already being in it, is you got to prepare for this. So what we're going to do is obviously use the method, the sprinkler method, as you see, which if you don't know how to do that, I have a full video on that and you can obviously check that out. It'll be towards the end of this video. But as you see, garden turns while you're away. Boom, huge plant. We got huge crops in the middle, all this stuff. This is how we're going to prepare for the money side of this. Now this method allowed me to, I did like half of it pretty much, and my garden sold for I think in total around 9 billion. And then the second side of the method is going to be more longer, so that's how you're actually going to max the lunar event. Now obviously, as you see on the screenshot, I literally did this half of my garden, bro. I didn't even get through the coconuts right there because there's so many of them, and I got almost 300 points. And obviously now if you had a bigger garden or did this for longer, you could pretty much max the entire event in one go through, allowing you to literally grind this. Now obviously you can set this up to grind the blood moon event as well, which I'll go over in a second. Now obviously this is not like an official macro or anything. This is just like what you can do for right now. But obviously if you are wanting to have information about, obviously we are releasing an actual automating macro for the entire game and all this, and all you got to do is download it obviously and then run it. Now there's no beforehand setup installation. Make sure you join my Discord server, linked in the description. Obviously we also will be able to notify you drop leaks. We also have a stock notifier, an egg stock notifier, and a weather notifier, so you should definitely check that out. But obviously we do have information about the macro. It's gonna look really good, so make sure you check that out. Now starting with the first beforehand setup, what you're gonna need to do is pretty much the beforehand setup is obviously you're gonna need to clear your garden out and then set up sprinklers. Now you can do beforehand preparation to grind to try to get like golden ones and all that, because obviously we know once they grow you're not going to get anything like better out of this. That's just like something you can do, obviously not like something you should prioritize, because the other mutations you'll get later with this method really just make that kind of worthless. So obviously clear out your garden, plant everything you can, and then fill in the main areas with like at least the godly sprinkler, and then leave the game. Now whenever you rejoin for the secondary stage of the setup, this is where you'll actually get the main benefit out of this, because obviously you'll have all of the big plants and all this stuff. Because I did this, once again, I still sold for billions, but I just had the mutations on my side. I did not have all of the actual like size boostings on my side. Like look at this mango, this thing is chunky. I did not have a big mango like that. I just had normal size plants with the crazy mutations that sold for billions. Now if you double down, get the crazy size and all that and the mutations, now you're going to be stacked. Now with the first setup, obviously once you clear out your whole garden and get these sprinklers going, the next setup is pretty much going to be just obviously leave the game for the sprinkler method to work in its full power. Come back like as late as you possibly can, because literally like once again, the longer you run the sprinkler method, the more value you get out of it. Now as you see, the sprinkler, I think I was running godly sprinklers. This method allows you to refine itself and like rinse and repeat pretty much, because the setup I'll be showing you obviously later in the video once we get to the final stage of this does allow you, as you see, get plenty of equipment and all this stuff. And if you also set it up during a blood moon, which is one thing I would definitely note, make sure you set this up during a blood moon to get better value out of it, so you can design it to go over to like the blood moon shop and buy all this stuff to automate it. Now what we're gonna do is once obviously you come back and you're like okay, good, the crops, those are fine, good to automate it. Now we need to set up our pets. Now obviously I'm running like XP gaining pets because I'm trying to get more pet slots. But what you should know is you probably do want to prioritize ones that affect mutations or give mutations. Now obviously I have a full video about all the pets that give the best like effects on all this stuff. Make sure you check that video out. That'll be once again up in the top right corner right now if you want to click over there, and that'll give you a full rundown. But if say you're wanting to get like a chicken jockey and don't have it, well, today's your lucky day, because I'm doing a giveaway where I'm giving away 4 chicken jockeys that I got on my alt accounts when the event came out, and I'm also giving out 10 bug eggs to the winner of the giveaway. And to enter, all you got to do is leave a like and subscribe and comment your username down below to enter into the giveaway. Now obviously I am trying to get to 150,000 subscribers, so make sure you subscribe. That's just from the deepest part of my black heart, I hope you would subscribe. But obviously you can do that or just try to enter into the giveaway. Now what we're going to do is once the garden is completely set up, now what we're going to do is head on down to my website. Now the reason for this is I have the official link to Tiny Tasks, which is going to be the thing we use to automate this, and I'll show you how to do the full setup and make sure everything runs correctly. But there are fake ones, so make sure you go to my website, which will have both the information in regards to Tiny Task, my polls and stocks, and all this stuff you can like analytically hope to get out of this. And then also like obviously once our macro comes out, there'll be more information about our macro there, which you should definitely check out. But once we start it off, we're going to get Tiny Tasks right here. Now first thing to note is you need to set up your keep keybinds. Now, you need to obviously have keybinds set separately. I do Control-Shift-Alt-R to record and F8 to play. Don't do F12 because F12 actually has the Roblox recording keybind, so that'll mess it up, especially if you're trying to AFK and you don't even realize it, because it'll lag out your device if you don't have a higher end one, and it's really just useless. Now, what we're going to do is set the keybinds. Once again, these are just the presets to what works. Set always on top, just so you can, this is more like a personal, and then use default toolbar. Custom ones is like if you have like your own design, but I don't really know anyone who knows how to do that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to set it to continuous playback. If you don't set it to that, you're going to run this thing one time and it's going to be over and you're never going to realize it. Now, what we're going to do to start off, once again though, you can just include like include in the middle having the whatever it's called, the blood moon, just going over to that. Once again, it can't record scrolling like this, so I'll show you how to set that up properly in a second. It can't record scrolling, but it can record any other keybind. So it can't do this, but you could use like the normal keybinds to do that. That's the main way you could do this. Now, what we're going to do is, starting off, we're going to like just teleport to your garden, and then you don't need to align your camera, but if you're doing the walking over to the blood moon thing, you have to align your camera. And then we're going to click Control-Shift-Alt-R. We're going to start recording. That the first thing to note is going to quickly turn off that whatever it's called, the shift lock. Control-Alt-R, start recording. We're going to click seeds, click E. Now what you need to do is make sure this thing's up in the top so that doesn't mess up the recording. So I'm going to restart real quick. Control-Shift-Alt-R, seeds. We're going to check for seeds. And now what you're going to do is grab this, go all the way down to the bottom, and then double click on some of these that can, on the multi, and then like on this, click more, obviously, because multiple can be in stock. Go through for all the ones you want. So like I would want up to a coconut seed, and then I'm going to scroll up, X this out, and then I'm going to, okay, first mistake, once again, I forgot to mention this. You do need to have the recall wrench in your toolbar if you're hoping on going over to that. So make sure you obviously do have that set up. So once again, let's reset this. So record, seeds, talk to him, and then scroll to the bottom, and then we're going to buy, keep going through and buying. Make sure you click like in the middle so there's room for error. If you obviously scroll wrong, like I think I just scrolled wrong, so that might mess it up. And then scroll that up, and then click this, and make sure you don't click it a second time because that does mess it up because it re-equips it. Scroll to the bottom. I want the master sprinkler, lightning rods, godly sprinklers, nothing else. I'll scroll up and I'll get watering cans in the middle, obviously, in case for error, and I'll get one recall wrench each time because they are expensive once you obviously AFK. Teleport back to the garden and in the recording. Now immediately save this because this is going to be a W. AFK macro grow garden. Now what you can do is open this up. If you aren't wanting to set this up yourself, once again on my website I will have the links for this. Now to include the AFKing, or obviously why this works, what you're looking for. Why is that there? Okay, now to set up why this works. So the reason why we're doing this section first is because you can't have like the gold or rainbow or bigger sizes on your crops after they're grown. So you need to do the sprinkler method. So clear out your things, do the sprinkler method, then set this up. Now this will allow for all of these to be really big. Like this mango right here is huge. And if I got that alongside with like some crazy mutation, this thing alone would sell for so much. And obviously I'm gonna claim it because I'm probably just gonna like eat this, but like this thing right here is huge. Now I'm gonna feed this to a boom. Okay, that's one thing to note is you do want to do that first. And then secondly, the AFK method allows for like why this is like, we might ask, why is this better than the actual, you know, like sprinkler method? The sprinkler method is really good if you are able to obviously get a bunch of master sprinklers. Now do note this method did get me, I think it was obviously like 2,000 watering cans. I didn't hope on that. I got 15 godly sprinklers out of it, and I think it was 2 master sprinklers in the whole night of AFKing. Additionally, on this show and screenshot, obviously I got a bunch of seeds. I got seeds. I think it was like multiple pepper, cacao. There wasn't a beanstalk, but there was like 60 mushrooms, and it was like dragon fruits, coconut, mango, like literally everything. I got a seed for everything, minus obviously the beanstalk. That rarely comes in, but I got a seed for everything. Now, this makes it both overpowered for early beginners. Like if you have enough money and you're trying to grind, this makes it really good for that, but additionally makes it really helpful for later, because if you do take full advantage of this, I'm not kidding you when I say if you have like a candy blossom or moon blossom, something with high value, there is a good shot you're going to be able to literally farm hundreds of billions to eventually trillions if you can fully manipulate this. Now, obviously, if your pet setup is good enough, you could quite literally make like near to a trillion. Now, I do know people who can make trillions using their own methods. Now, pretty much it revolves around the base of this, but to summarize, if you do have the raccoon, once again, click up in the top right if you want to know how to get the raccoon in the most fast, optimal way. But to summarize, if you have a private server, the private server is going to make this so much better. You can have your alt account with, say, like some crazy mutation mushroom sitting over here, and then the raccoon, since they only have that one single crop, what's going to happen is the raccoon every 15 minutes or 10 minutes, I don't know, I don't have it yet, but it's going to come over here specifically, and since it obviously will only pick up that one thing because it's the only thing on the lot, if you don't don't know, like the single grow crops, so like whenever the crop only grows once, I don't know what the name is for that, but it only grows one time. Pretty much what this means is that one mushroom, if you can get like it to grow golden and then get it struck by lightning and then a cosmic and then get all this stuff on it, wet, frozen, you know, struck by lightning, so shock, and then you could also probably stack on other mutations, you name it, right? This one mushroom right here is going to have such crazy high value alone. Like it probably would sell for close to 100 million by itself, meaning every 15 minutes as you're running this macro and AFKing, you're going to get like literally, it's practically going to be like 100 million or more every 15 minutes. Now, additionally, if you do take advantage of this, there's the disco mutation. I know the mods have literally been spamming this. If you have one of these as well, this is going to be even more busted because like this thing right here, or no, this thing alone, it only has disco, celestial, and frozen, but look how much it's worth, 66 million. If I was getting 66 million every 15 minutes, that would literally be, what would that, 16, what would that be, times 4, and then if you AFK'd for, you know, 8 hours, that would be, oh my gosh, that would be 2 billion just passively in 1 hour, like 1 8 hour of AFK with just that thing. And like this one right here, dude, I'm not claiming this thing because this thing alone, this mushroom right here, obviously, I think it has pretty much every single mutation you can get on it. Like it grew golden, then I got disco, it got struck by lightning, hit by a meteor, it has frozen, wet, it was golden once again, it has bloodlit and moonlit. This thing alone, I don't even, dude, this thing probably sells for hundreds of millions or potentially close to the billions. If you were to farm this thing, you could literally farm billions and billions an hour, and that is going to be the main revolve around this strategy, the AFK method. Now, once again though, if you are wanting to set it up to go to the thing right there, what you're gonna have to do is obviously walk like this, and the camera's angling is gonna have to be ultra specific because obviously you could align with like the bottom line right here. The angling is gonna have to be ultra specific if you want to get that to work, but that pretty much summarizes it. If this video did help you out, make sure to leave a like, and I'll see you on the next